now it's left to the power man. Here comes Hackett. First of all, Ernie Hackett to fight out for the top place. There goes Ernie Hackett, compounding the powerhouse. Up it goes. And that's what Ernie thought about it all. Really enjoyed that. Really did psych yourself up for that, didn't you?
Well, put it all together for just that one big effort because there's just no way I could make it the second time. Just couldn't be done. So just once, that's all you have needs to get the second place, you know?
You reckon you can top that weight?
Well, we'll have to see how Bill does first.
And let's just see how Bill does do. Bill Kazmaier, 345 pounds.
The overhead press, quite frankly, I think it's a lot of hate, most of which is undeserved, and why it's actually a really good exercise. In this video, I'll explain why. If we're going to talk about the overhead press, let's talk about what it actually is and how you do it. There are many variations of the overhead press, but first let's talk about the standing barbell one. So when you get ready to do a standing overhead press, you should put the barbell at about armpit height or where you put it for a squat. And then you want to grab it with slightly outside shoulder width grip. And as you push up, you're going to push your chin back. Doesn't hit your chin. And once you reach lockout, you should move your chin forward. And once you're going for a negative, you're going to pull it down, moving your chin backwards until it hits your chest. For the seated variations, the exact same. You put the barbell at armpit height and move your chin accordingly, like you want to do in a standing one. There's also the standing and seated dumbbell versions, which are also incredibly solid, and I'd say are basically equal to the barbell one. There are many, and I mean many, variations of the standard overhead press. There's the log press, there's the trap bar press. There's one where you get the barbell and push it into the safety bars as hard as you can to develop strength. There's also the push press. Like I said earlier, there's many variations, and I could easily name dozens. When it comes to injury on the overhead press, it's hardly even the thing. Yeah, you can hurt your rotator cuffs if you do it badly, maybe even get a bit of shoulder impingement, but overall it's quite rare, and if you have good form, it can negate all of that. As well as for a lot of beginners, maybe a future video on this, but there's a lot of phantom injuries where they get minor joint pain, mostly because they haven't put their joints under loading in their entire lives, and their joints are just getting used to it. Let's compare it to the bench press, which by the way is an awesome exercise, but it's far more injury prone. It is much more technique based than the overhead press is. Since you need to tear your pecs, tear your rotator cuffs, mess up your elbows, etc. As well as a lot of people say it's not very optimal, which for one, the word optimal has lost a lot of its meaning in fitness circles. But anyway, I disagree with that. The overhead press is very front shoulder dominant, has a lot of side delt too, and a lot of tricep, quite a bit of upper chest, and not much upper traps. For the front delt, quite frankly, admittedly does get a lot of work from various other pressing movements that are chest oriented. However, if you want to maximize your front delt gains, since your front delt does contribute quite a bit to aesthetics, throwing in an overhead press won't hurt. As well as the fact it's not just a front delt isolation movement, it's a jack of all trades compound general upper body movement. As well as I mentioned earlier, it works with side delts, which gives you that 3D, Death Star, whatever word you want to use, shoulders, which are so highly coveted. It also works with triceps, specifically in the medial and lateral head. Although admittedly it does not work the long head, which requires your arm to be behind your shoulder. But regardless, it works the medial and lateral head, which are very important for aesthetics. As well as it could even negate doing tricep press sounds, since those work the exact same parts of the tricep. As well as doing your overhead press helps with your bench, since it works the front delt, tricep, as well as a little bit of the upper chest, all of which are very active during the bench press, and are some people's lagging muscles during the bench press, especially during lockout, where your triceps and front delts are really working to lock out your elbows. If you're into strongman and Olympic weightlifting to a lesser extent, the overhead press is pretty much a non-negotiable. A strong overhead press is required in strongman, since usually it's just a lift inside of strongman. As well as sometimes in Olympic weightlifting, the overhead press or push press is a required lift. as well as it's simply just a fun exercise, which sounds like the least important reason, but it actually is the most important. Think about it. What are you going to gain more strength on? The lift that requires a lot of strength but you don't really enjoy, or the lift that brings you a smile to your face as you walk into the gym excited to do it? This could be my personal bias, but the overhead press is probably one of, if not the most fun exercise to do, along with the bench press. And you're going to see by far the most growth and gains from exercise you enjoy, because you're going to keep on doing it and pushing harder and harder. And it's not like it's a wasteful exercise earlier. As I said plenty of times in this video and explained, is a movement that can get you jacked.
Everybody want to be a bodybuilder. Right. Don't nobody want to lift this heavy ass weight.
But anyway, I think I'll end it here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I made you think a little bit or even changed your mind on the overhead press. I hope I maybe even confirmed your opinion that the overhead press is great. It's awesome. Anyway, with all that kept in mind, hope you liked watching. Subscribe or like if you'd want. And see you next time. Bye.
Check out my new favorite channel. It is so good. Oh my god. Look at it.